Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is the solo episode, and we're going to talk about the interview with Lane right now. Lane is from the Simply Passive Cash Flow, or Simple Passive Cash Flow.com site. Sorry, I always say simply versus simple, but anyway, he's a great resource. He's actually done quite a bit when it comes to uh, multifamily investing and a lot of single family investing as well. But he's a passive investor now, but he's got a wealth of information that he can help you out to learn quite a bit. And what I'm going to give you some of the things that I got from it. First of all, the guy's got 6,000 rental properties. That are not rental properties, but let's just say doors. 6,000 doors. That's a lot of doors. Now, mind you, always keep in mind that when we're talking about doors, sometimes the percentage isn't as it's not grandiose, a huge percentage, but when you're talking around 6,000 doors, then most likely the percentage is going to be, even if the percentage is small, you're still going to get a good chunk of change back from that. One of the things that I took from him is kind of his strategies when it comes to saving money to be able to invest in rental properties or invest in properties. One thing he kept saying is that he lived frugally. He lived underneath his means. And the fact that he did that, I think, is what kind of sets him apart from some of the other investors. Like a lot of investors will go and get a loan and do something and it won't work out well because they don't know how to handle their money. So taking that step back and really learning to handle your money and understanding how your money works in your own pocket, where your strengths and weaknesses are when it comes to spending, that's a great place for you to start when it comes to your investing. The next thing, and there's only three things I took on his, and I'm working to keep this underneath a 9-minute time frame. So the next thing that I learned from him was his understanding of the questions that are being asked. I don't get to see a lot of passive investors or be able to talk to them on the phone. I've got a few that are friends that are passive investors. But one thing that he said that stuck out to me as somebody who's been in the investing space and is doing GP things of that nature, he stated that it's not something that he's concerned about when it comes to the numbers and, oh, the numbers are this, the numbers are that. He's looking specifically at, hey, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm not looking for. And he's sticking with that. And then he's going and asking the people who are around him, hey, have you heard of this person? Hey, have you seen this person do yada, yada, yada? These are great things that we can take from it. It's when you get to that level, that the level that he's on, and even before then, establishing a great reputation is something that carries you for miles. Because just like we talked about in the podcast, people saying, hey, I don't like such and such, or they didn't do this, this, and this, or I had a bad experience. The same can be said on the other side of it. When they have a great experience, when everything that they need to get done gets done, that is where the money is truly made. So just like he said, your network is your net worth when you're over a certain number. And that's, of course, on Lane's opinion, because my thought process is, hey, that's the way all the way across. But from his side, I believe even more so that that's the case, because there are going to be other people who can put you on opportunities where you can make quite a bit just by knowing them. You'll get the call and they'll say, hey, I've got a 50 unit property I want to get rid of. Do you want it? And I've seen it. I've seen it happen, not just to me, but to a few of my other passive investing friends and real estate investing friends. It is something that does happen, and you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware of your reputation. The next thing that I learned from talking to Lane is when you're going through your things and you're going through your reputation, not representation, sorry, your presentations when it comes to syndications or when you're asking for money from passive investors, don't try to sell them. Give them the honest truth. Give them the fact of the matter. Hey, this is the number I'm looking at coming back. These are the things we have to look out for. This is the good. This is the bad. It sets you apart from the next person, because the next person is giving them, hey, this is amazing. It's going to be a great investment. It's going to make you all this money. It's going to give them this grandiose idea. But what passive investors aren't used to at this particular point, in my opinion, are hearing the entire story, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because they're going to make a decision based off their criteria regardless. So why not be honest about the situation? Hey, this is what we have. This is what's coming. This is what we're expecting. This is what could happen, good, bad, or what have you. So hopefully you took something from that. Hopefully you watched and listened to that episode. And we're not gonna have FAQ. We weren't able to do the FAQ. I think Lane had some things he had to execute, so we weren't able to do the FAQ. Hopefully we'll get Lane back on at some point in time to talk more about that distance investing part that he did discuss. But in the meantime, remember, you're better than you were, but you're not half as good as you're gonna be. Love you guys. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you again.